Principles for achieving financial independence. How money move. In the previous video we have discussed the 7 stages of financial growth. Start from first one, bankruptcy, where your income cannot cover your debts, up to the final stage of prosperity and total independence where you are financially free anywhere in the world. The first rule of money mastery is understanding where your cash goes. People in the poor class have no slack. Every dollar earned is eaten up by daily expenses. The middle class typically have money to cover costs and piles on liabilities, a house or car loan, to look wealthy. But the truly independent invest first. Their rule is, income covers needs, plus investing, plus debt pay down, plus wants. In other words, pay yourself first. Let's face reality. In 2025, 67% of American workers report living paycheck to paycheck, up from 63% in 2024. That means majority of Americans are in poor class. This is due to high fixed costs and unnecessary expenses that leave no room to save. For example, according to consumer expenditures for 2023 by U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, U.S. households spend roughly 33% of income on housing, 17% on transport, and 12.9% on food. When rent/mortgage and bills are so high, it leaves little extra for saving and investment. Unfortunately, in many countries, over 60% of the population is trapped because their income barely covers their living expenses, and their entire financial existence depends on their job from the employer. The main question is, can those who are financially dependent and have low incomes get out of this trap? I believe they can. With effort, discipline, and long-term responsibility. Let's see how. The first solution is to reduce unnecessary expenses. There are a lot of figures with alcohol and tobacco consumption in a family, where in some countries, this consumption exceeds 8% of the family budget. That is way too high. In contrast, in average, only 2% of the family's monthly budget is spent on education and 1% on investments. Of course, someone who smokes a pack of cigarettes a day can decide to cut the cost of this habit in half. This decision, which is also beneficial for health, can lead to annual savings of approximately $1,000. If this amount is invested at an annual return of 5% for 20 years, by the end of the period, we'll have over $40,000. We will discuss on investments on a later video. Also, food waste can add up. In the European Union, households throw away about 72 kilograms of food per person per year. In the United States, the average is even higher. Americans throw away 147 kilograms. That wasted food has value, it's money literally in the trash. Now, please reflect on how much food you throw away each week and how much it's worth. By reducing waste and cutting small vices, like dining out, drinking or smoking, families free up hundreds of dollars each month to invest. Even cutting a $150 per month for dining out habit and reducing food waste. That money invested at 5% over 20 years will bring you a gain of almost $30,000 and a total amount of $67,000. The second solution for those who are in poor class and have low incomes is to create opportunities to diversify and increase their income. Investing in education, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, developing a network of people from whom you can always learn, and investing monthly savings in a diversified portfolio of assets that generate even more money are just a few actions that can make you escape from the poor class. Now let's move to middle class. Most of the people from middle class remain stuck there because the residual income, after covering living expenses, is mostly directed toward acquiring liabilities, such as a new car, a bigger house, the latest gadgets, clothes, more frequent restaurant dining, or more expensive vacations. For them, income growth primarily leads to a proportional increase in spending for a better standard of living, or even higher debt if they buy a more expensive home. Even if their income is rising, without financial knowledge, their money disappears quickly. From that moment on, their life will be in fear and greed. The fear of lowering their standard of living and the greed to buy more and more. Compared to poor and middle class, the priority of financially independent people is to invest their residual income after covering expenses, in order to accumulate as many assets as possible that generate even more money for them. Every dollar that goes into assets becomes their employee 24 hours a day, and the money works for them. Financially independent people continuously educate themselves, constantly observe opportunities, and do not spend recklessly. The returns from these investments are used, first of all, to exploit new investments, so that assets grow exponentially. Secondly, the money made from their investments is directed towards early repayment of debts, in order to reduce the financial burden and interest paid. In the end, financial independent people buy liabilities, such as a luxury car or a new house, using the income generated by their assets. To summarize, the poor and middle class, who are financially dependent, buy their liabilities with their own sweat and not with the money produced by their money. Thus, residual income is close to zero or negative when you accumulate debt. If you want to be financially independent, the first thing you need to know is the difference between assets and liabilities. As Robert Kiyosaki mentioned in his book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, assets are investments that put money in your pocket. Liabilities are expenses that take money out of your pocket. In the following videos, we will explain the potential assets and investments available for you, so that you can decide which ones suit you best. Thank you for watching.